through the years in my counseling practice and beyond, I've talked with many people, hundreds, perhaps even thousands of individuals who have engagements with narcissistic persons. And a very interesting trend tends to rise to the surface quickly when I talk with these people. And that is, they'll begin talking with me about the deception that goes along with their engagements with the narcissist. Now, let me just pause right there. Deception, narcissism. Does that seem to fit? And the answer is, oh yeah. Lies, half-truths, conveniently forgetting to let you know about certain things that are of utmost importance. Narcissists are very keen on trying to craft a certain kind of image. And so if they have to present things in such a way where it's not exactly what they are, or it may not be favorable to them, then they'll just kind of create their narratives in such a way that fits their needs. Truth is expedient. And the facts are something that, well, we can kind of maneuver around that. I mean, as a real simple illustration, I may have somebody come into my office and they'll talk about their family of origin, and they may say something like, my father was the kind of person that when he was in public, he was really engaging, and he could hold a crowd real well, telling funny stories, and everybody liked him. But man, behind the scenes, he was awful. He was a tyrant. He would scream and yell, and we all just would scatter like roaches whenever he would come into the house. It's like, I don't want to be around that person. Or a very common theme, another one, is people may tell me, well, when I was getting to know this person, let's say prior to marriage or prior to being connected with them in a significant way, they may say, oh, that person was really into me, and they were friendly and would buy me gifts and say all nice complimentary things. But here we are deeper into the relationship, and I feel like I got defrauded. Nothing of that original kind of relationship is coming through. Now this person is caustic and mean and harsh, and I can't ever do anything right. I don't even know who that person is that I originally got to know. That's a common theme. Or another one, and that is, well, let's say my partner won't talk with me about money. Maybe they hide credit card bills, or they haven't filed taxes for years, or there's all sorts of purchases they make, and then they make sure that you don't know about it. By the way, there are two things that narcissists tend to lie most about. One is money, and then the other is sex. Another illustration. I may have people come in here and they'll say something like, you will not believe what I found on my partner's computer. And they may have a long history of porn use that was hidden, but it got discovered. Or it may be that they have text messages that they thought they were doing a good job of covering up with someone, and it turns out that there was a lot of sexual innuendo regarding that. And these individuals think they're getting away with it, but after a while they get a little bit lazy in covering up, and people begin to find out. Lies, half-truths, deceptions. Welcome to the world of narcissism. It's pretty sad, isn't it? Now, why do narcissists lie so easily? Well, first and foremost, it's all about power. Narcissists are drunk with the notion that says, I have to be in control. I have to be the one writing the narrative here, and so I'll just go ahead and let people know what I think they need to know. Truth is expedient, facts are expedient, and so they can try to craft an image, and some of them can be very skilled at being able to craft an image that has nothing to do with who they really are, but it's in a favorable light to them, and so it's like, well, that's what's most important, me being in a favorable light. And so knowledge is power, and then image is power, and so that's what they do. And then speaking of image, narcissists are highly image conscious. They need supply from you. And so they want you to think of themselves as being really terrific, or if not you, they want the public out there to think of themselves as terrific. And so it's all part of building an image to feed their fragile egos. Another reason that narcissists will tell lies is they don't want to be responsible. It's all about being evasive and sidestepping responsibility. And that is basically, in their sense of entitlement, they're thinking to themselves, I don't want to be accountable to anyone. So I'll let you know the stuff that bodes well for me, And there are just certain things you're not going to know about me because I don't want you telling me what to do. I'm the one that calls the shots. That's how they think. Now, there's another element that's also related to the lying, and that's fear. Now, the narcissist will not acknowledge their fears, but liars are fearful people. Ultimately, a narcissist has concluded, usually pretty early on in their life, that this is a world that's filled with judgment, and there's a pecking order there, and so they fear being on the low end of the pecking order. Remember, another defining feature of narcissism is the need to be superior, and so they're damaged in the sense that they know, I don't know if I'm going to live up to everybody's narratives. So what they do is, based on fear, based on shame, based on trying to sidestep judgments, they just kind of make up stuff as they go along, and they hide things that are going to keep them from being judged. And then another reason that narcissists lie so easily, and that is it implies a total lack of understanding of the word intimacy. Interestingly, intimacy, when it's managed properly, is based upon knowing both the good and the bad about one another. For example, with my wife, when she and I were first getting to know each other, one of the things that we wanted to do is say, well, let me talk with you about my pluses. Of course, you want to do that. But let me also let you know some of the things that I wish that I could do over, or things that I know that I have a tendency toward that need to be refined, and here's what that is. Intimacy means that you're going to talk about some of those difficult kinds of things, and you're going to be honest about it, and you're going to be held accountable. And a narcissist thinking, if that's what intimacy is, I don't want anything to do with it. To them, intimacy means I want sex whenever I want it, and that's kind of it. But in terms of being able to share down at the deepest level who they are, even at their place of vulnerability, it's like, I am not about to do that. Now, notice when you deal with this lying, deceiving, half-truth, narcissistic person, notice what happens as you engage with them. First, you get the notion, I'm dealing with someone here that's tone deaf. You can try to talk with them about what makes sense to you, and they're not going to hear anything that they don't want to hear. And so they can invalidate you, and they can be highly defensive. They're strongly inclined towards justification and rationalization. I've had so many people come to my office and they'll say, I try to talk about problems, and the only thing I get is a big, huge wall of defense, and they either flip it back on me, or they invalidate what I'm having to say, or they have a million excuses for whatever it is they're trying to do. In addition, you'll probably notice when you're dealing with that lying narcissist, they like to shift gears, and they like to do some blame shifting. They may say, well, I know that you're upset about this, but what about you? How many times have you done this wrong? Or you may think that I've done something wrong, but this person over here, they've done it 10 times more than I have, so I don't even know what you're complaining about. And they do the blame shifting kind of game. And basically, they're just slippery kinds of people to deal with. Have you ever had those kind of experiences? They want to make themselves unavailable. They're very evasive. And even if it seems as though their lies are just glaringly obvious, they still double down and do it anyway. And so here you are, dealing with that narcissist, can't figure out what their passwords are because they won't let you know, that you don't really know where they're going and what they're up to. What are you going to do? Now, I'm going to give you two options. The first is you can try to force their hand. You can plead and beg and cajole and shame them and accuse them and try to make them see the errors of their way. Have you ever tried that one? Does it work? And the answer is no. They're committed to dishonesty. And so when you say, let's talk about what's honest, it's like, I don't do that. And so you can beg and all of that, but it's going to get you nowhere, except you're going to go into your deeper hole of anger and hurt and frustration and disillusionment. Or a second option is you can tell yourself the truth. And what is the truth? The truth is, I'm dealing with a liar. That's not a very pleasant thing to say, is it? I'm dealing with a liar. This may be somebody that you work with or that you have committed yourself to in a very deep and intimate kind of way, or it may be a family member, and it's like, I don't want to have to say that. And yet, there it is. It's true. And so when you realize that, then it leads to certain conclusions. And the conclusion could be this person has lost the privilege to be on the inside circle with me, or this person has lost the privilege to be my confidant. This person is not someone that I'm going to offer trust to. This person is not going to be someone that I'm going to share loyalty with. This person is not someone that I can reform. Those are truths that you'll need to hold down to. Hold on to your truth. Now, let's keep in mind this. A foundational quality for a healthy relationship is trust, and the trustworthiness and the honesty and the accountability that goes along with it. And so why don't we conclude with this? I will not trust a narcissist. I choose instead to trust my own instincts and my understanding of right and wrong. That's what I'm going to anchor my decisions upon, my boundaries upon, my priorities upon. The lying, deceptive narcissist is not going to be in charge of how I live. They can be whatever they want to be because that's what they're going to be anyway. I choose to be a trustworthy person. Now, I do hope that you gain benefit from videos such as this, and I really want to say thank you for letting me be a part of your life. I received very nice comments from you about how you're trying to grow, and I'm pleased that I get to be a part of that, so know that I take that seriously. If you've not yet subscribed, I would encourage you to go beneath the video here and hit that subscribe button, and we'll keep you apprised of more videos that come along. We have a website, and I want to encourage you to look into it. It's survivingnarcissism.tv, and we have many articles and videos and other kind of features on there, quizzes, things like that. Check it out, because we're loading things on that constantly, and I hope you'll find that to be a very good resource. In fact, there's quite a bit more on that adds to what we're already doing on YouTube. In addition, if you're someone that might want to look up for counseling online, we have links below for that, and I've received good feedback from people who have made use of that, and that might be something you'd like to avail yourself to. And we even have a link with a group that can help you out if you have hormonal imbalances that are a part of emotional stress and duress. You can actually take some at-home online tests for that, and we would encourage you to avail yourself to that. In addition, we have links to my books, my online workshops, and even coffee mugs. Know that I know that you're trying to take this seriously as you try to figure out how to grow, and I hope that even when you have to look at some of the ugly truth about a narcissist's lack of honesty, it can propel you towards the growth and the maturation that you're capable of. And so I encourage you strongly to live properly into healthiness. And as you do, please know, I wish for you peace.